Why is everything a subscription now? Most importantly, why can't we own anything anymore? Hi, my name is Andrea Mizrahi, and welcome to episode 31 of It Really Is That Deep. And today we're talking about the subscription economy. Okay, this isn't just about Netflix or Spotify, which are the two obvious examples of this phenomenon. This is about a fundamental shift in terms of how we consume and what it even means to own something. The term subscription economy was popularized by companies like Zora, basically to describe a world where instead of selling product, companies are starting to sell ongoing access. And look around, that's exactly what's happening. We no longer get to own things forever, we only get limited access now. You pay to use it for as long as they let you. And that's why everything from entertainment to software to even meal kits has become a monthly fee. Most people don't even notice this until they have 10 reoccurring payments each month and they don't even know what for. And this doesn't just apply to products, this applies to something much bigger, which is housing. Think about renting versus buying. When you rent, you don't buy your home. You don't own your home. You're paying for access. You're borrowing space. Now that same logic is creeping in to everything. You don't own your music, your shows, your software, just a license to access them.
Before we go forward, make sure y'all like the video and hit that hype button for me, please.
That you stop paying, it's gone. And this used to be kind of a weird thing. We used to own CDs, DVDs, physical books, things that you could keep or resell or pass down or lend. And there was something fundamental there, which was permanence. Now we're completely comfortable paying for things basically forever. That's been a massive cultural shift. There's a reason behind this, because when everything is a subscription, nothing builds equity. Everything becomes temporary. Everything is on lease mode. Here's the part that people aren't really talking about. When ownership disappears, so does control. Companies can raise prices, remove content, or lock features behind paywalls. You don't really have a say because you didn't have any ownership to begin with. It makes your access conditional. There's even a term now called subscription fatigue. You're paying for so many things, it actually feels heavier than just owning them outright. It's also why now people are suddenly so focused on things like investing, because it's one of the only remaining ways to actually own something that might grow in value. And it's why there's an entire market now where there's apps designed just to cancel subscriptions automatically that you had forgotten that you made in the first place.
WeMoney helps you find all those subscriptions you didn't know you were paying for.
That's also why physical media, vintage, secondhand, all of that are suddenly becoming much more appealing because they offer something that subscriptions can't: permanence. And if we're not careful, we might stop asking, what's mine? Start accepting, what can I keep as long as I keep paying for it.
You will own nothing and be happy about it. That's what they want for you. Think about it. Do we actually own anything at this current time? No, because there's taxes on taxes on taxes. The American dream is a scam. You got income tax, right? So the government just says, hey, by the way, you owe me some money. That sounds more like extortion to me. And then the money that's been taxed, you go buy something, it's called sales tax. So let's say you buy a house, then you pay sales tax, right? Now you have a mortgage for 30 years that maybe, if lucky, you pay that off. Do you own your house? Do you own the property? No. You have property tax. And let me tell you, who decides the value of the home? Who decides the tax? That's right, the government. The government decides, hey, you know what? Sorry, we're going to raise your taxes, Proposition 2.5 override. We can do what we want. Let's say you're an elderly person on a fixed income like Social Security. Oh, wait a minute, that gets taxed too. But you're on a fixed income, and you know what they say? Sorry, we're raising your property tax. I can't afford it. Well, then we're going to foreclose and take it away. That is tyranny, and we can all agree, I hope, that we need to do something better. We need to abolish that, get rid of it, and figure out a better solution, because what we're doing right now is using us as the commodity, like the Matrix, right? They're milking and milking and milking. And maybe you work your entire life, then you retire, and you know what the average life expectancy after retiring? 3 years. It's time for all of us to unite, wake up, and stand firm.
Hey, before we go on, piggybacking off of what he said, I just recently canceled my Spectrum. I have a completely different internet. It may be shit. I don't know what Spectrum is to y'all, but up here in upstate New York, it's Spectrum TV. It used to be Roadrunner, whatever, Time Warner Cable. TMC, right? Don't sue me. When you look at your bills, not only do you have your bill, and then you have your tax, and then you have your service charge, and then you have a miscellaneous charge, and then there's a state something charge, and then there's a charge on a charge. It was so many things I was being charged for instead of just the service.
I'm just curious if there are a lot of people out there that are collecting DVDs and CDs like how people have done with records and record players, because we're fully entrenched in a subscription-based society. Like, we don't own anything that we consume. We don't own the land truly that we live on, the houses, the cars, the media we consume. Like, we don't own anything, truly own anything. So I'm just wondering if there are people out there that are like actively building like DVD or CD collections, just like as a small way to kind of rage against the machine.
If you haven't realized that the American dream has been privatized out of existence, this is your wake-up call. Now, what does that actually mean? I'm telling you that the American dream that you probably had as a kid does not exist anymore. If you are a millennial like me, please lock into this message and just understand that the American dream that we thought of has been privatized out of existence. Now, what does that actually mean? That means that every piece of your life has been sectioned off and sold to you. Everything is a service, you know, a product, a service. It's just there. It's continual now. Why do we have so many subscriptions? Just understand, like, your American dream, everything that you had as an American dream is now controlled, over the top control. It was already being picked over for you, and a standard was being set, but now it's even more being controlled. All right, we're talking about quality of health care. You wish you had access to that, but they sure making that tough, aren't they? Now, we're talking about things like a house. Oh, they sure make that unobtainable for a lot of people. The things that really allow you to build a family and feel secure, they have privatized it to the point to where it is almost unobtainable for normal people. So, that is what I mean when I say that your American dream has been privatized out of existence. It is no longer the same thing. It is all just full capitalism at this point. All right, you have to be able to pay for your dream, which is crazy because my dream is invaluable. It's nothing near this.
Right.
But to make something come into existence here, it's like I gotta pay for it. Whatever. Whew, that's just my little rant. All right, I'll see y'all in the next one. Much love, take care, and much respect.
Is it me, or does it feel like everything in America is a scam right now? Like, everywhere you go, people are trying to scam you. And I don't mean the usual typical scammers, because we used to that. We used to the scammers scamming. But right now, it's actually like reputable businesses, like Fortune 500 companies that, not saying that they were perfect before, but now it feels like they're just like blatantly scamming. Like the cell phone companies and car dealerships and internet companies and everything. They're trying to get every little last bit out of you.
Yo, before he go on, going back to that Spectrum thing, when I went to go cancel the service. Now remember, I got the service. You got to go into the branch. I went, took my, the router back, and I'm in there, and they told me that I had to call a number to cancel. I couldn't come into the branch. So they put so many things in front of you too when you want to cancel. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was in the actual headquarter branch, and they told me I had to call a number, which then put me on a wait list, which transferred me to somebody else, who then told me I had a wrong number, and I had to get the right number. I called that number. The representative was from India. They hung up in my face. I had to call back again, and I did this while I was in that branch. This is what they do. They make it more difficult for you to control everything, not just your money, but just your choices. That's fatiguing. Now, imagine if that's like a senior or somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Trying to scam you for every little last dollar. It's like, y'all are billion-dollar companies. Y'all are multi-million-dollar companies, and trying to scam the regular people. It's sad. And now, with Trump removing protections and removing so many consumer protections, it feels like it's only gotten worse. It feels like your likelihood of getting scammed is going up. And America, even the American dream right now, feels like a scam. It's like you're supposed to believe, oh, you go to college, you do this and that, you do everything right, and then you don't get the American dream that you were promised. And this is like a trickle down scam of all the other scams that are going on right now. And I don't know if it's because of the economy or what, but it seems like businesses are trying to get everything they can out of people. Now, maybe the people are scamming the businesses and being, you know, not good customers at the same time. So I don't know where the pressure is coming from, but it feels like we're just in a scam society right now. Is that just me?
If Netflix tomorrow got rid of every single piece of content on their platform, would you still subscribe to it? Would you still pay the $9.99 or $14.99, whatever it is? Now imagine you have to pay it. There's a new law that everyone in the United States has to have Netflix. And then once that law passes, then they slowly start getting rid of content until there's no content left on Netflix. Would you be frustrated that you still had to pay for it, even though you're getting no benefit from it? Because my question is, why are people who know we are going to have to continue to pay taxes as the regular folk, why would you continue to be okay with paying taxes if you're not going to get anything in return? You're not getting education, you're not getting food taken care of, you have no health care.
Right.
What do you want your taxes to go to? I'm so confused. Because somebody like me, who is a regular person and pays between 20 to 30% of their income in taxes every year, I would love education for all. I would love healthcare for all.
Right.
I would love if, food or housing became difficult, I would love that there was subsidies to help people afford food and afford housing. I would love if healthcare and education were things that people didn't have to look at as a luxury.
And people that voted against that, you need to be ashamed of yourselves. Like, seriously. You are a bad person. Not gonna cuss. You are a bad person if you voted against that. You are a selfish, unmoral individual.
It should just be looked at as something that you can get because it's better for society when we're all healthy and we're all educated.
Right.
But no, for some reason, people don't want anything back. They just want to give their money to the ruling class and then be all done with it. They don't want to demand that this country takes care of the citizens. They are perfectly fine without public transportation, without health care, without all of these things that would make all of our lives better. And for what? Because somebody told you that somebody who makes less than you and has less than you is actually the problem? They're not, sweetie.
You didn't imagine it. Your life really is turning into one giant subscription. You buy a car, but it wants a monthly fee to turn on the heated seats. You buy a movie, and it disappears when a platform changes a licensing agreement. You buy cloud storage, and your own photos, your memories, your life are suddenly held hostage behind a monthly bill. But then the person who sold it to you says, oh, by the way, if you want the wheels to turn next year, that's a monthly subscription. And if you stop paying, I'll lock the wheels so you can only look at it. You instantly recognize that something is wrong. Yet that's exactly what's happening with modern cars, printers, software, cloud storage, and even books. You press buy now, but what you actually get is something closer to, you may use this, as long as we continue to allow it. But every smart feature is also a potential lever of control. A smart car can be remotely updated, which also means remotely restricted. A smart TV can receive new software, which also means new ads, removed features, or tracking you didn't ask for. A smart appliance needs an app, which also means the company can quietly end support one day and leave you with a machine that suddenly works worse than the day you bought it. Yet many people now store their entire digital lives inside a single cloud service tied to a monthly subscription. That's like giving every drawing, journal entry, and photo album you own to someone else and saying, please keep these safe for me forever. While they reply, sure, as long as you keep paying and as long as we don't change our rules later. A healthier approach is to treat your memories like physical heirlooms. In a world filled with software locks, many products you buy technically belong to you, but you aren't allowed to fix them. Imagine buying a bicycle and being told that if the chain slips, only the original store is legally allowed to pop it back on.
Bro, I saw something the other day. I think it was with, I don't know the manufacturer of the pickup truck, right? But they're making it so you can't even change a window switch on your own. A $20, $30, Amazon window switch. You have to now take it into the dealership to get it programmed. You have to take it to the dealership to get something that simple programmed, and then your car can work as normal. If not, then it won't work. A window switch.
That sounds silly, but that's exactly what happens with tractors, phones, cars, and even restaurant equipment. When you can't repair something you bought, you don't fully own it. In the modern world, a handful of corporations control access to payment processing, app distribution, internet connectivity, cloud hosting, and digital identity. If one of them decides you violated a policy, or even just can't verify your identity, your financial accounts can be frozen, your apps can stop working, your account can disappear, and your access to your own purchases can vanish. That is an enormous amount of power concentrated in very few hands. We are entering a world where the line between owning something and renting it has become intentionally blurry. A car is no longer just a machine, it's a platform. A book is no longer just an object, it's a license. A phone is no longer just a device, it's a gateway controlled by a handful of corporations. If someone else can lock, limit, alter, or revoke the thing you paid for at any time without your consent, then you don't fully own it. And if you don't own the tools you use to work, travel, communicate, and remember, then little by little, you don't fully own your...
Finally understanding that the American dream was a propaganda tool to get immigrants to come to America and become corporate slaves. Do we get that now? That America had a dwindling workforce because they kept adding people to the system of white privilege. And so that in order to expand that system, they had to spread the concept of the American dream through the media all over the world, which gave people this bright idea that America is this place of freedom and happiness and joy where you can start your life and become any type of person that you want. That was propaganda. As the servant class became smaller, as they added people to the system of white supremacy, they needed more people to fill those gaps, right? So they started selling that dream to the immigrant class overseas through the American media propaganda system, which they still do, right? And so everyone keeps bringing a happy, joy, lucky ass over here, thinking that they can make anything fucking possible just to become a corporate slave in the end. The American dream has always been a farce. It was called a dream because it was a fantasy. It was never fucking real. It isn't called the American reality. It's a fucking fantasy, people. Come on. You're under spells. Like, oh my God, you're under spells.
Y'all know that we are slaves, right? Like, we're currently all slaves. Slavery never went away. It was just remodified as the working system. Every day you have to get up super early, spend 8 hours a day away from your friends, your loved one, your family, work for pennies on the dollar to make somebody else richer than they already are. And then you get hit with all these bills that you can barely afford because shit is going up. Things are way too expensive. And once you pay off all your ridiculously expensive ass bills, you're broke and have to go to work again the next day. And then once you get paid again to pay your bills, you're going to be broke again. It's literally a rat race. It's like the guinea pig on the hamster wheel. And I know I'm not the only one that feels this way because I just got paid and now I'm broke. And don't get me wrong, I have money saved up, I have money in investments. But literally the chump change I got paid from my 2 jobs is all of a sudden gone because it went to bills. And now I have to go back to work again, wait a whole week to get paid to pay bills again. And the same amount of money I'm getting paid, people have 2, 3, sometimes 4 kids. I'm like, there's no way people are surviving, making the same money I am with dependents. I don't have any kids. I don't have a place of my own. I'm still living at the crib. Yet these people have like a whole bunch of bills, mouths that they have to feed, rules that they have to keep over their head, clothes that they have to buy. How are y'all doing that with the same amount of paycheck y'all get as me? It's
side hustles. That's the only way. Side hustle, bruh.
Literally impossible. Financial freedom is a whole flat out fucking lie. It's bullshit.
Yep.
Unless you were inherited money, grew up in a rich family, hit the lottery, heard a crazy sports betting parlay, you're never gonna get rich.
It's funny, when I first started my business, I had a mentor, at first, and she asked me, she said, what's your dream? Why do you want to do this? And, coming from where I come from, you don't see people doing too much of nothing, right? every once in a while you'll get that rose through the concrete, but for the most part, the hood is the hood, right? I said, I just want financial freedom. That's it. I've been, like this guy is talking about, I've been working to pay bills as long as I can remember. You know, my grandmother working to pay bills as long as I can remember. You know what I'm saying? I just want financial freedom to where I don't have to worry. You know what I'm saying? That's it. That's it. I'm not striving to be rich, but that's kind of what you got to be in today's society to make a decent living, right? 100K, under 100K now is poor. You should be able to live a decent life with 55,000. Decent. In the, you know, in the late 90s, early 2000s. Now you're considered poor. You're considered extremely poor if you make less than 30,000 a year. And that's just the facts. Because after you're done paying all your bills, overhead, groceries, you're probably bringing home to spend on yourself and maybe your family probably close to $8,000. Not even the whole year. This ain't right, y'all.
Never gonna get ahead because they don't want you to get ahead. They want you to stay slaves and depend on that job and work for the next 40, 50 years of your life. And when you finally can retire with the little bit of money that you were able to save, you can enjoy it. You won't physically be able to do the things at an older age compared to when you were younger. The United States working system was designed for us to be slaves for 40, 50, if not 60 years and then die. And then what happens when you die? They take half your money because of taxes. Don't get me started on taxes. That's another scam system that they created to keep you broke. It makes no sense how we go to work, bust our ass, and then they illegally take money from our paycheck. And then when it comes time to file taxes every single year, they demand you to pay more money on top of the money that they already illegally took from you.
Right.
The American dream is to get the fuck out of America.
Hey, before he go on, he was talking about like, you know, how these jobs and, you know, they want you to work, you know, 40, 50, 60 years. One of my good friends, he been working for this place, I think like 19 years, right? It got something to do with like construction-based vehicles and all that other shit. So he tells me, like, I was asking him about it one day. I'm gonna speed this up. I was asking him about it. He tells me, he's like, yo, I said, yo, how long you been working for? You know, he's like, that's like 19 years. I'm like, oh, okay, so you got some stake in there or whatever, man. You should be, another, you know, 15 or whatever. You should be able to retire. He in his 40s. He like, nah. He started laughing. I'm like, what's so funny? He's like, hell nah. He's like, bro, when I clock in, so I guess I've never had these kinds of time clocks. He was like, I guess when you clock into work, it tells you like your retirement date and your age. He said, yo, that thing, he said, I've been with these people for almost 20 years. It tells me I'm going to retire when I'm 92. That's when I can retire, when I'm 92 years old. Nope. I checked out right then and there, and that's why I have my business. I just wanted to let y'all know about that one. That's crazy, bro.
Lied to. Y'all remember the movies from back in the day? Where our grandparents and great-grandparents, they would move to the big city, find a good paying job, and just live the good old American dream. That was a dream deferred, wasn't it? Because once they moved to the city, they never looked back. Everything became about convenience.
Yeah.
It's crazy to even think about how much land my family had. And that they gave that up for convenience. Because when shit starts falling apart, we ain't got nowhere to go to. And we won't be able to eat off the fruits of our labor. Most farms from back in the day had wells, or the property was by a river. But you knew where you were getting your water from. You knew who was growing your food. We could have had our own and our own neighborhood. It should have just been air property. That way nobody could have sold it. But here's the kicker, y'all. They later found natural gas on the family property. I couldn't make this up if I tried. My great-great-uncle sells the property. Our family really could have been set, but it don't work like that, unfortunately. We had owned that land for over 120 plus years just to have nothing. All I'm saying is don't sell your granddaddy's land. Because when it's said and done, when this shit crumbles, you're gonna need somewhere to go. On a scale from 1 to 10, we're screwed. Most men don't know how to hunt. Most men don't know how to plant crops. Most men would not know how to survive in the wild. When we were self-sufficient and owned our land and could do for ourselves, we had this country by the nuts. Now it's just free balling.
It ain't no American dream no more. We living in an American nightmare right now. You got folks working 2-3 jobs trying to make it. Folks working 2-3 jobs and still can't pay their rent. People can't buy houses no more. You don't see people in their 20s and 30s buying houses no more like they used to back in the days. People can barely afford food at the grocery store because the price is steady going up. Gas prices is going up. And then you got to fill your tank up every 3 to 4 days because this gas is burning way too fast. You know what I'm saying? We living in an American nightmare. This ain't no American dream. I don't know what the fuck is going on. This ain't no American dream, though. Whenever you got to work 2 or 3 jobs and you still can't afford to live, you still can't afford food, you can't put gas in your car, you can't afford basic necessities, man. This is an American nightmare. Ain't no more American dream.
They sold you the American dream and delivered a subscription to stress. Go to college. Get $100,000 in student loans. Land a corporate job. Buy a house you can't afford. Lease a car to look successful. That's not the dream. That's a trap designed to keep you working until you're 67. Your grandparents bought a house for $30,000 on a single income. You're making $70,000 and can't afford rent in most cities. They got pensions. You got a 401k that crashes every recession. They retired with dignity. You'll work until you die. The system broke and blamed you for not making it work. But here's what changes the entire game. The American dream isn't dead. It just doesn't work the way they taught you anymore. It's not corporate jobs and white picket fences. It's ownership, equity, building something that's yours. The new American dream is opting out of their broken system and building your own. Most Americans will chase the old dream into bankruptcy. Work 40 years for a company that'll replace them in a week.
Going back to, the American dream is a scam, I believe it. But before I go that far, I want to know what is or what was your perception of what the American dream was, right? Because I feel like there was never really a clear definition of it, right? The vast majority of, I would say Americans, the American dream was, getting a decent job, from that job being able to afford a decent car, a decent house, in a decent neighborhood, have, go out to eat every once in a while. Not necessarily a stressless life, but not as stressful as what's happening here. But I want to know what was or what is y'all perception of the American dream? The American dream for, most minorities and black people, we just want a little financial freedom, bro. Not to be harassed by, cops or targeted by politicians. And that's really it. Like we don't care about all this other dumb shit. Other people tell you, move back to your country, all this old other dumb shit, right? We don't care. I just want to know, because I'm different than you, what's your perception of what the American dream is, and is it still attainable? Your perception of what the American dream is. They are spot on with the whole subscription-based way America is shaped now. Xbox subscription, Hulu, Netflix, Disney, literally everything. A lot of y'all paying leases on cell phones, which is wicked shit. That is wicked. You're paying on a phone that you don't own, the same way you do a car. I have a 2012 Chevy Tahoe. I own it. I know how to fix it. I fixed it 1,000,000 times. It ain't the prettiest looking thing, but it's mine. The government can't come and take it. If I stop paying on it, can't no one take it from me. You can't disable it via satellite. It's so many different things. And as far as like being taxed and these entities are nickel and diming the shit out of people, yo. Like I said, go and check one of your bills. If you have T-Mobile, check your T-Mobile bill. Check your Verizon bill. Cell phones, I used to have a prepaid cell phone card back in high school. That $40 minute card used to last me 3 months. 3 months. $40. We paying almost $180 a month for one line of service just because they have all these add-ons. And that's not even discussing, the lawsuits that, the NFL network and all that. They have some lawsuit going on because people can't just go and find the games in one spot. They have to subscribe here, subscribe this one, buy this one. So by the end of the year, most people are paying upwards of $1,200 just to watch football, which used to be free. Remember that. And I want to mostly say it was the local and non-playoff games that were free. Now you have to have a subscription just to watch regular games. Look, I don't care how anybody comes up off the government, man. If you got to scam them, scam them. If you got to pirate your videos, I'm not telling you to do it, but I ain't knocking you. I'm not one of those kind of people. Do what you got to do, right? But I do think people need to stop being so reliant on the system to do everything for them. You don't need to buy iCloud storage. You don't. You can buy your own external hard drive, or you can actually still go to one of these places and print out the pictures you want, right? Do you need a music subscription service? They're convenient, they help, but you don't need it, right? We gotta undo some of these things. It's not gonna save us massive amounts of money, but it's gonna help a little bit. But I just want to know, my main thing is, do you guys agree with the fact that America is headed down a subscription-based society, or is it things just people are just complaining about and it should just be normal just because it's been normalized? But I would like to know what your perception of what the American dream is, and is it still attainable? Let me know. I'm gonna read the comments. Leave a comment below. Make sure you like the video. Ayo Bassel TV. Like, comment, share. See you on the next one. Peace.